Clemens Homebrew, coming at you with a beer review. And today is Friday, August 3rd. Tomorrow, August 4th, is National Mead Day. Don't you forget. But we're going to focus on beer today. I've got one today that came to me from Josh Secor. Thank you, Josh. Go check out his channel. I'll put a link down there. Josh is a wonderful brewer and quite a funny guy, great guy. So here we go. What he brought me was a beer from Blacklist Artisan Ales out of Duluth, Minnesota. This is dark. It's an Imperial Belgian Stout. Don't be afraid of the dark. That's right. This looks like a good one to me. Sounds fun anyway. Let's go ahead and get it cracked open. It's going to be an 8% ABV, by the way, and 60 IBUs. Those Belgian Stouts are always challenging. They're a little different for me. I love the challenge. Here we go. All right, here we go. Ooh, that's pretty dark, actually. It really is. All right, we're gonna get a nice pour. I'm not gonna put all of it in. I want to be able to swirl. But you can see, look how dark that mocha head is on there. It's kind of medium-sized bubbles, but this is opaque. I can't see through it at all. It's just a very deep mahogany color. Very pretty. Here we go with the nose. And yes, indeed, we're gonna get that challenge with the Belgian Stout. All right, it's interesting. There's chocolate quality coming off it first and foremost, I want to say, but it's an interesting chocolate. It's like a dry chocolate. It's like a cocoa powder, not like cacao, but like a cocoa powder, or maybe a little bit of like a baker's chocolate. So not necessarily super sweet, but that kind of a dark chocolate. You're getting the Belgian yeast on there. You can smell that, so it gives a little bit of spicy quality, maybe a hint of some clove on there. But like there's some dark fruit-like qualities coming off on the nose. I want to say someplace like a figgy type raisin quality to a light degree. There's something else on there I'm not quite capturing as well. I'm gonna get another big nose. Wow, I'm just getting like these light hints of all kinds of things going on. Really, just the lightest hint of some molasses on there. I almost feel like I got kind of like a banana ester kind of coming off it. I assume I say ester because I assume it's coming off the yeast quality. You definitely get the roast on that. Maybe a little bit of a coffee type roast as well. So it's very interesting. At one moment, I almost feel like I got like a what I want to call like a tobacco quality, but again, very faint. So a lot of these are faint, but there's a lot of interesting aromas coming off the nose. We're gonna go ahead and jump in now. Cheers. Oh, that is interesting and kind of complex. It's like they're layers, but they're very light. This is 60 IBUs. It almost feels like it could be a little bit higher. It's you definitely get this bitter quality. It blends in though very well, and so that bitter quality is hitting that hint of coffee on there, but the chocolate qualities, and the palate just completely dries out on this. I mean, amazingly so. So now when I talk about like a cocoa powder, you know, and baker's chocolate, you've got that bitterness to get that baker's chocolate quality, but then that drying out of it totally brings you back to that like a cocoa powder type thing, and not a real sugary one at that. Wow, that's fun. Ooh, boom, that gets this, ooh, I got this little shot of bitterness on the tongue with a slight sweetness coming through. It does have a really nice balance. Flavors, so definitely chocolate of sorts, dark chocolate, those dry chocolate, and all that I already said. And then you're getting some roasty qualities, that roasted barley coming through. You get just a hint of like a roasted coffee type essence coming off. Because the bitterness is high, you're not able to pull out the dark fruits on this quite as well as I'd like. But you still get a little bit of the spicy quality coming off of the yeast esters. So just like a light clove type quality on there. Man, just like the lightest hint of like some anise, which is those little seeds. So it's kind of like you chew on them. They have a kind of a black licorice taste. But anise is just a little bit different. I grew up chewing on them as a kid. and I get a little bit of molasses as well. You've got to pull those flavors out, the dark fruits, at the front side of the taste. As you pull it in, it comes in with a nice sweetness, but then the bitterness and the drying out comes so quickly on the back side that it just masks any of those dark fruit qualities. All right, so I'm tasting this to try to pull it out. And what I'm getting right now is kind of a dark cherry and tobacco qualities coming off. So interesting. I mean, this is very unique beer. And I'd say I get more of the dark cherry at this point than I do of any kind of a fig or raisin type qualities. And I say fig or raisin, I mean ish. But that dark cherry is coming through with that like bitter, roasty quality, and it's good. It's a fun beer. I'm gonna take a little time with this, and I'll come back with some numbers. I'm back, and I took a nice break. Was in chatting with Kahlua Barb, and come back, sip this, a nice break from it. This is just a beautiful beer. I'm really digging on it. You've got to be able to appreciate, though, things like a true, like, export stout, like a dry export stout. That's, if you get a proper one, that's a unique beer. And then you jump that up a bit with this, because it's probably a little bigger than your average export stout. I mean, it's only 8%, but that's big enough. But with that Belgian yeast, you're gonna add a lot of qualities. The first thing we're gonna do is rate it in terms of Imperial stouts. This has some layers, and it has some great qualities. Man, that cherry's coming through more. The tobacco is coming through more. This is fun. So we've got to rate it higher. Now, I still have some issues personally with the Belgian stouts. They're tougher for me. They're not quite the same, but it's still really good. And so in terms of an Imperial stout, I have to give this a 93. Overall, going 91. And that's just because there are so many fun qualities in this beer. I could see this rating a little low for some people, and that's going to be because of the fact, I think, that it dries out so much and that there's a high bitterness on it. And a lot of people they can't relate to that. They can't understand that quality. But it doesn't make it a lesser beer by any means. This is a beauty. If you understand what I'm talking about, you really should check this one out. I've got a wasp that's trying to get to my beer. That's just crazy. All right, so we're gonna have to wrap this up. All right, who knew wasps like Belgian stouts, right? Oh my God, this is the dark, that's right, from Blacklist Artisan Ales out of Duluth, Minnesota. Thanks again to my good buddy Josh. And this Kevin comes home for you saying, life's too short to drink cheap beer. It's too short to deal with wasps. And we'll see you on the next beer review.